Welcome to Miss.sheeena's world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
For all of the backlash that Patrick Ta has received for these transition blushes, he is walking it all the way back on Instagram and posted this long, lengthy message about how he wasn't in the right during this whole situation and he's going to do better moving forward. I'm not sure what spurred this because he should have done this weeks ago. His post definitely gave, I'm trying to take accountability, but I'm not sorry for anything, because there was no apology. It was just talking about artistry and artists. He kind of dipped his toe into the fact that Black creators are constantly stolen from and not credited for their work. And that was pretty much it. And then he was like, yeah, and I'm going to support other artists of the next generation. Nothing he really could have said would make me believe him because it took way too long, and he still hasn't said like an action he's going to take in rectifying the Painted by Esther situation. So like, he could have kept it. He said, recently the launch of Transition Blush contributed to a larger issue than I first understood, and I want to take a moment to take accountability. My intention was to create a product that made a makeup technique I love more accessible. It was never my intention to claim ownership over a blush technique or a way of applying makeup. As an artist and creator myself, I now understand why Esther and others saw it through a different lens. I'm genuinely sorry for the hurt and frustration caused. That was never my intention, but I have learned the impact matters more than the intent. I understand that the reaction wasn't just about the product itself. It was about something much bigger: recognition, visibility, and the experiences many creators, especially Black creators, have had when their contributions to culture are overlooked or not recognized. Black creators have had an enormous influence on beauty, culture, trends, artistry, and the influence often goes unattributed or unrewarded. I have tremendous respect for Esther and for all the artists and creators who have helped shape and advance this technique. Artists, creators, and communities are the reason brands succeed, and I recognize my responsibility to acknowledge influence and help ensure that people feel respected, valued, and fairly supported. Right now, my focus is to continue to learn and find meaningful ways to support the artists, creators, founders, and communities that make this industry flourish. Artistry has given me my voice in my career, and it's important to me to continue to pour into and champion the next generation of artists.
Patrick Ta finally issued an apology over the transition blush scandal. Here we go. People are saying this about his apology.
The fact that Patrick Ta took weeks to post his apology definitely shows me that he wanted to wait to get all the hype he could off of this controversy, and now he's reawakening it back up so he can get more hype off of it. No shade. The things I want to know is, number one, are you going to remove the trademark? Number two, when are you going to remove the trademark? That is the biggest piece of concern that anyone should be caring about right now, because you are actively colonizing a term off of a technique that you had no part in building, and you're actively taking money out of Black women's hands, specifically Painted by Esther. Also, that bullshit apology, no one should be in your comments accepting. No one Asian, no one non-Black should be accepting that apology. The only person that could accept that apology if she wanted to is Painted by Esther, only if she felt it was adequate. Number three, what are you going to do to compensate her? For all the bullshit, for all the time and energy wasted, for all the frustrations you put her through. And number four, address the Zionism allegations. You have a lot of time on a flight to Tel Aviv, so let us know when you're...
Okay, you guys have a lot to say. Recently, the launch of Transition Blush contributed to a larger issue than I first understood, and I want to take a moment to take accountability. My intention was to create a product that made makeup technique I love more accessible. It was never my intention to claim ownership over a blush technique or a way of applying makeup. Okay, got it. Now, here we go. As an artist, creator myself, I now understand why Esther, he said her name, and others saw it through a different lens. I am sorry for the hurt and frustration caused. That was never my intention, but I have learned that impact matters more than intent. I understand that the reaction wasn't just about the product itself. It was about something much bigger: recognition, visibility, and the experiences many creators, especially Black creators, have had when they're Okay. Black creators have had an enormous influence on the beauty culture, trends, and artistry, and that influence often goes unattributed and unwarranted. I have a tremendous respect for Esther. Oh, he said her name again, baby. And for all the artists and creators who have helped shape and advance this technique. Artists, creators, and communities are the reason brands succeed. And I recognize my responsibility to acknowledge, influence, and help ensure that people feel respected, valued, and fairly supported. Right now, my focus is to continue to learn and find meaningful ways to support the artists, creators, founders, and communities that make their industry flourish. Artistry has given me my voice and my career, and it's important to me to continue to pour into the next generation of artists. Okay.
Not Patrick Ta being caught red-handed. You know, you gotta love the internet.
We have foundation on, skin on. My version of Painted by Esther. My version of Painted by Esther. I'm gonna go in with my cream blush first. My updated pink under eye technique. Starting off with She's a Doll.
August 25th, 2025. I thought you did powder before cream. Patrick Rowe, I switched for the Painted by Esther look. Unless you've been under a rock, guys, you've probably seen the whole Patrick Ta versus Painted by Esther discourse. So Painted by Esther is a makeup artist who is mostly known for her transition blush techniques. She really popped off because she's Alandria's makeup artist and she would do the most beautiful blush looks on Alandria, and this really was noticed. And now Patrick Ta is releasing a new duo cream and powder blush, and his new blush is being advertised using techniques similar to Painted by Esther's techniques. And it looks like he may have even trademarked a transition blush. But he also said, like, in his video, this is not a new technique. Like, he's been doing it for years. Some of his makeup artist friends have been doing it for years. And several people online were calling him out for stealing from Painted by Esther before Esther even made her TikTok video. In response to all the discourse, Painted by Esther posted a TikTok. And mind you, in her video, Esther states she did not create this technique. But let's be clear, she did make it popular. Last year, there's articles about Painted by Esther and her blush technique because of Alandria. Alandria was a breakout star from season 7. People noticed her blush look, her makeup looks, and they loved it. And Painted by Esther was the artist behind this. Another tidbit from her video that I thought was interesting was when she said that someone from Patrick Ta's team had requested for Painted by Esther to do their makeup. But then they also requested if they could film her doing their makeup. And therefore, this made her feel uncomfortable because she was like, I was booked just to do makeup, not to teach a technique. Like, why would you want a video of it? Obviously, you want my technique. So she canceled the appointment. What I find extremely shady from Patrick Ta is the requesting to film her doing makeup and especially trademarking the transition blush. Like Esther said, she did not create transition blush, but she did popularize it, especially in America, so should she not profit off of it? Also, mind you guys, I am by no means on beauty TikTok at all. I mean, most of the time I'm on here with like minimal makeup on, but I even learned about Painted by Esther because of her blush technique on Alandria. Even in my comment sections, people would be saying like, Painted by Esther, she did that look, it's amazing. I just really don't like that he trademarked transition blush. I find it shady. Just the fact that his team wanted her to do it and wanted to record her shows how much of an influence she is. Honestly, he should have just tried to collab with her. Like, that would have been amazing. Instead of, you know, like, stealing technique. And now he's being called out.
Let us get our shit off the ground before you take a bite of it. I just sat my box of pizza down, and here you go with your little crummy hands. You know how a kid just got that wet hand with Cheetos all over it, and they want to stick their hand in your pizza? That's how y'all looking right now. That's how y'all looking. All Patrick Ta had to do was do a collaboration with Esther, and it would have been sold out. Y'all don't want to give people their credit because you want to seem like you're the innovator of something. Baby, everything that we're all doing now has been done before. But what we do is we bring our creativity, our little sauce on that. I'm not the first person to sit on a couch and talk shit. No, I'm not. But I do it in my own way. So it doesn't look like anything else that you've ever seen or heard before. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have to say I am on Painted by Esther's side on this. Was she the first person to put blush under the eye and do all that pink? No. She gave credit to who inspired that look for her, but did she make it popular to where everybody is doing it, the pictures of Gabrielle Union, the picture of Olandria when she was doing their makeup, Chloe Bailey, all these pictures went extremely viral. I literally see makeup artists copying off of Painted by Esther. Look, everybody is doing the blush right now because of Painted by Esther. And all he had to do was collaborate with her.
Just feel like it's so grimy and disgusting to me that Patrick Tar would, even now that he's already done it, like you doing it cool is already diabolical, but now that you've done it, are trying to undermine the influence that Esther had on this whole technique and on the fact that you can even have the space to have a transitional blush.
1000%.
Because that is the most, no offense, like it's one part of your makeup that is so irrelevant. Like you don't need a transitional blush.
You don't need a transitional
The
blush,
only reason
exactly.
you're making this product is because Esther popularized it.
Patrick Tar came out with transitional blushes and didn't give any credit to Painted by Esther. Oh, shocker. Innovative work from another black woman that she's not being given credit for. Are we surprised? No. Are we tired of it? Hell yeah. I think the kicker for me is not that he's only trying to trademark the term transitional blush, but the launch itself is also just not needed. I don't think that transitional blush is a product. I think it's a technique. It's about blending. It's about placement. It's about product usage. Product launch aside, I think that the trademark attempt is a clear and blatant attempt to exclude Painted by Esther from her own contributions to the beauty community. I think it's an attempt to capitalize off someone else's work and to make it harder for her to get the recognition that she deserves. And I'm not talking social media recognition. I'm talking about the legal and monetary options that she has going forward. Because if the trademark passes going forward, she will always have to maneuver around transitional blushes as a result of Patrick Tar's trademark, which makes it difficult for her to expand and capitalize off the technique that she popularized. So yes, I do think it is that deep, and it's so much more than just a product launch. To me, it's about legacy, it's about ownership, it's about corporate greed, and it's about power.
Collaboration with Esther ever come up internally?
So I personally reached out to Esther. My team reached out to Esther, and unfortunately, she declined the opportunity because she wasn't taking paid collaborations at the moment.
And this was prior to the launch?
This was prior to the launch.
Okay, so you actually went out to her to be a part of your launch of this particular product?
Yeah, this launch has been a very hard launch for me. Like, I created this with such heart, and
it feels to me, Patrick, like you kind of understand that launching this particular product without a mention of her influence of the technique kind of felt like an erasure of her influence. And again, I think she's been very vocal. She didn't create the technique. She's somebody that's more recently popularized the technique. But the fact that you guys went out with it in the way that you did feels like she should have somehow come up and been credited, and she wasn't. And because it so frequently happens, specifically with Black female creators and artists, it's escalated into something that is disproportionate to what you would have perhaps hoped for, considering that you went out to her. But it feels to me like there's some sense of remorse or some sense of understanding, or am I misunderstanding?
Yeah, I'm really sorry for, I am genuinely sorry for